Hello and welcome to the Magic Workshop for 2021, the year we were still stuck in the house. My name is Professor Whizzpop. Most people call me Professor Whizzpop because that is the name I perform magic tricks under. My real name, which I only tell audiences when I'm doing workshops or when I'm doing grown-up adult magic, is Tom. And I am your host for the show today. I am going to teach you a few magic tricks. Hopefully they're not ones that you saw me teach in this library or another library last year. Some new stuff, some principles of magic, some ideas, and I'm also going to show you some magic tricks which I'm not going to tell you how to do, but I am going to tell you where you can find the information to do those tricks, because what I would really love to see is people going out, learning a bit of magic here, performing it for their friends, and then learning a bit more from books and videos and things that you can get from your library. I thought I'd start today with one of my favourite tricks, which I will be explaining later on in the programme, but I'm not going to explain now. And it's a rope trick. Put your hands up if you want to see a rope trick. Awesome. Put your hands up if you want to skip it. Yeah, I'm a dad, and that was a dad joke. Skip it. This piece of rope went to school the other day, and the teacher said, "I can't teach you." And the piece of rope said, "Why not?" And the teacher said, "Because you're not to dress code." And the piece of rope said, "Yes, I am." And the teacher said, "No, you're not. Look, you've got a punk hairdo." And the piece of rope said, "No, I'm afraid not." I'll wait. Afraid not? Afraid not? Oh dear. Another dad joke. So anyway, classic of magic, the classic of magic with a piece of rope is a trick called the cut and restored rope. I'm going to move this chair out of the way and I'll show you, and I'll move this table out of the way, why not? Since we're in a workshop today, I can move things and not be so formal. Okay, so the rope trick. This is what I want you to do. I want someone to stick their hand up when I reach the middle of the rope. So I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to run it down the rope, and when I reach the middle, I want somebody to put their hand up, okay? Don't unmute. Okay, so I take my hand, I run it down the rope. When I get to the middle of the rope, stick your hand up. Okay, so I take my hand, I run it down the... When I get to the middle, stick your hand up. Okay, here we go. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. No, not yet. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we are, out in the middle. Okay, and then what we do is, because I'm a responsible adult and I do magic tricks for a living, I'll use the scissors. If I cut the piece of rope like that, how many ropes do we have? 2. That is correct. Very good. Clearly not educated in North Carolina. Now, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take this piece of rope, I'm going to hold it here and here. You're going to take this piece of rope and you're going to stick it up your left nostril. No, not really. What's going to happen is this. On the count of 3, I want everybody to make a magical gesture. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your thumbs, because that's the way the magic comes. 1, 2, 3. We grab the rope, blow on the rope, we end up with 1 piece of rope and everyone goes, yay! Now, for those who just arrived, this is what happened. We took a piece of rope and then we cut the rope like that, so we ended up with 2 pieces of rope, and then we grab the rope, blow on the rope, we end up with 1 piece of rope. There's an easier way to do the trick though. What you can do is take the rope like that and, that's not good. I'll tell you what, I'll shove those in my pocket, we won't need those for a while. This is what I want you to do. I want you to stick your hands up and tell me when to stop. Stick your hand up, stick your... Very good. There, okay, we'll put the ends back on there, like that. Would you like to know how the trick is done? I'll tell you. It's done with static electricity. Yeah, what you do is you rub the rope against these big hairy Welsh arms like that. You rub the rope there against those big hairy Welsh arms, you end up with a loop of rope. And then what you do is you take the spare ends out your pocket. Where are the spare ends? There we go. And what you do is you simply throw them back on the rope like that. There's an easier way to do the trick. What you can do is quite simply tie a knot in the rope. So you have a knot in the rope. Then what you do is you take these fingers, these 2 fingers here, you go snip, snip, and we end up with Now all we need to do is make the knot disappear. So what we do is we tie a little tighter like that, and we wrap the rope around the hands like so. We wrap it all the way around the hands, all the way around the hands like that. And then what we do is we say the magic words, abracadabra, and watch very carefully as the knot disappears. major principles of magic is misdirection. It's the ability to get somebody to look somewhere while something funky is going on elsewhere. There was an amazing magician many years ago, and his name was Blackstone. He had such stage presence that when he walked onto the stage, people would look directly at him. He actually used his own stage presence as misdirection, the ability to get people to look at him while other things were going on stage. Every magic trick in the world has some element of misdirection in it. The trick is seeing when the misdirection takes place. For example, if I'm going to make a coin disappear, or a coin disappear, okay? A coin disappear. I will teaching you this in a minute, yeah? If you take the coin, and I'm going to come close to the camera, if you take the coin and you hold your hands here tightly together, and that's not misdirection. But if I take the coin and I make a grand movement with this, that is misdirection, because the audience will follow the bigger movement. The coin is actually in this hand here, but the bigger movement was over here, so people have a tendency to look over here. It's very important when you're learning magic, when you're learning to do magic, that you always bear in mind that misdirection is in every single trick. If you're a magician, it's almost inevitable that at some point you will be asked to show somebody a card trick. It has been said by magicians that there is really only one card trick, and that is you choose a card and I find your card. Well, that's not actually true. There are millions and millions and millions of card tricks in the world, and I'm going to teach you 3 today. The first one requires no skill whatsoever. In fact, it doesn't even require you to touch the cards during the trick. The second one is the traditional, you select a card, I'll find the card. And the third one is actually quite a difficult trick to perform, and I thought I would show it to you so that you can go back and look at the pre-recorded version of this show, work it out and perform it yourself. So let's look at the first trick. The first trick involves a typical pack of cards that you would buy at any supermarket. Once you have got the pack of cards on the table, all the actions are performed by a helper from the audience. Obviously, I haven't got any audience members here today. I've just got a budgerigar in the corner making a lot of noise. So I will do it as though I am the audience member. So the first thing you do is you say, a pack of cards, can you cut the pack into 4 equal packs? So that's what they do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal packs. Then you say to them, what I want you to do is I want you to take 3 cards from the top of each pack and put it on the bottom. And then I want you to take 1 card and put them on the top of every other pack. So, this is what they do. They take 3 cards from the top and put them on the bottom. And then take 1 card and put it on the top of every other pack. And they do this with the second pack. 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, 1 card on the top of every other pack. They do it with the next pack. 1, 2, 3 on the bottom and 1 card on the top of every other pack. And finally, they do it with the last pack. 1, 2, 3 on the bottom and 1 card on the top of every other pack. The rest of the trick is all presentation. You say, that's amazing. You're the most incredible person. I knew when I chose you to help me with this trick that you were an ace. In fact, you're not just an ace, but all the cards on the top of the pack are aces. And then you take your applause. Very simple ace trick called an ace selection trick. And it's the easiest trick in the world to do. All you do is you have your pack, but before the trick starts, you take the aces out and you put them on the top, okay? No one will ever suspect a thing. So you've got a regular pack and then the 4 cards on the top are the aces. The rest of the trick works automatically. They take the pack, they cut it into 4 equal piles, okay? Because this was the top of the pack before, the aces are still on the top, 4 aces on the top. And then you go through the motions, just like we did. 3 cards from the top, go to the bottom, 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards. Do it with this one, 3 cards from the top, go to the bottom, 1 card, 2 card, 3 card. 3 cards from the top, go to the bottom, 1, 2, 3. And finally, the last pack, 1, 2, 3 cards go to the bottom, card on top, card on top, card on top. And what you've basically done is, through a long process, you've simply put the aces on the top of each pack. Okay, and that's called the ace assembly. It's a great trick. It fools people, and it's not your traditional select a card magic trick. Talking of which, let's give this pack a shuffle, and then we'll do a select a card magic trick. Riffle shuffle. Another riffle shuffle. And a one-handed card cut, just to show I've got some skills. Okay, so select a card trick requires a regular pack of cards, no particular order, no stack. They can shuffle it before the trick, you can shuffle it before the trick. People like to see the cards getting shuffled because they always suspect that there is what magicians call a stack, a certain order to the pack. Okay, so you have the card selected, any card. I'm not even going to look at that card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show that card to you guys, and you can see it. Then what we do is we take the card and you put it anywhere you want in the middle of the pack. There it goes, in the middle of the pack like that. Okay, now here's the thing. Did you know that the card you selected has actually got a name? His name is Rover. Did you know that Rover is trained? He is. Watch this. Roll over, Rover. And if we look through the pack, the weird thing is there is one card upside down. Where is it? Oh, one card upside down, and it was your card. All right, how's that done? Well, it's super simple, okay? And it does rely on a little bit of misdirection. You have them select a card. They take the card. You say, show it to everybody else in the audience. Show it to everyone in the audience. When they pick the card up and show it to everyone in the audience, everybody in the audience will look at that card, which gives you a great opportunity to turn the bottom card in your pack upside down. So while they're showing that, you're doing this, okay? When I did it just now in the trick, what I did was, I'll just move this a little bit. What I did was, I took the pack of cards and I flipped it over on my leg under the desk. So I took the pack of cards and I flipped it over on my leg under the desk. I hope you can see that. Okay, so once you've got the bottom card upside down, the trick is practically over. The card's upside down, you say replace it anywhere you want in the deck. So they replace it anywhere they want in the deck. And then you, as you're talking to them, you say, did you know that every pack of cards is trained? As you say, did you know? You say, did you know? And you express with your hands open that every pack of cards, and as you say every pack of cards, you simply turn your hand over. When you turn your hand over, the pack of cards is now in regular order. Okay? There are in fact 2 cards upside down in the pack. There is the bottom card and there is their selected card somewhere in the middle. So when you go through the pack, you have to be careful not to expose that upside down card. So you simply go through the pack like this and you find their upside down card, which in this instance happened to be the ace of spades. That is called the reversed card in the pack. Reverse card in the pack. Okay, the final card trick I'm going to teach you today is a variation on a classic of magic. And it's one of my favourite variations of this trick for the simple reason being that it involves ordinary objects, a pack of playing cards and a handkerchief. That's my handkerchief that I use for the trick. And it is another, you select a card, I'll find your card trick. So can be done with a shuffled pack. They can shuffle the pack beforehand. They can look at the pack. They can look at the handkerchief. There are no funky things or hokey things going on with the handkerchief or the pack of cards. No gimmicks. Just sleight of hand, really. So select a card, and they select a card and they look at it. Okay. And in this case, the card is the 5 of spades. Now, we need to control the 5 of spades to the top of the pack. So we have them replace the pack, and then we give the pack a cut. Okay, now we draw our attention to the handkerchief. And what we're going to do is we'll show the handkerchief, both sides, handkerchief there, handkerchief there. We take the pack of cards and we put it on top of the handkerchief, and we actually give it a quick shuffle. Like that. Then we hold the cards under the handkerchief, because what we're going to do is say the magic words, and one card will rise from the pack. Look carefully as the card rises from the pack. It rises from the pack, and tell me what your card was. The 5 of spades. The 5 of spades. Okay, how's it done? Well, it uses a little bit of science and a little bit of sleight of hand, and I thought I would show you this because some of you may want to learn a more difficult trick. First thing we've got to do, you get the card selected, okay? We have to control that card to the top of the pack. The easiest way to do this now, during presentation, okay? So 8 of spades. The easiest way to control it to the top of the pack is to do what's called a false cut. Now, this show is pre-recorded. There is a pre-recorded version, so you can go back and look at this. But basically what you do is you take the top of the pack and you pull it off. You put that down with gusto, and then you put that on top. So what they think you've done is cut the pack. But what you've actually done is nothing. It just looks like you've cut the pack, and you've still got your card on top. It's important that you have your card on top, because the next stage involves you stealing the card away. You hold up the handkerchief. Now remember, in the principles of misdirection, if you hold up something big, all the eyes will go to the big thing. So I say, one ordinary handkerchief. While I'm doing that, I palm the top card. Okay? So I steal the top card. And what I've done is, I do it with one hand. I just palm it with one hand. You don't need to. You can say, look at that handkerchief. And as you do it, you push this card off and you hold it in your palm. You hold it in your palm. Okay? So you've pushed the card off, you hold it in your palm. You put the pack of cards down and you pick up the handkerchief. You show it both sides, because the card is palmed here, but as you show it, you don't turn the hand, you just simply turn the handkerchief. Show it both sides and put your hand underneath. And what your hand is doing is basically just holding the card. Okay? So the card is there, and then the handkerchief is on top of the card. You take the rest of the pack and you put it on top of the handkerchief. And when you shuffle, you actually shuffle the pack on both sides of the handkerchief. Can you see? And you push it together. Now, when you hold it like that, what you've basically done is you've put the playing cards here, yeah, you reversed it, and so actually, if you look carefully, you can see the chosen card at the top. Now, this is the bit I really enjoy. You're holding the pack of cards under the handkerchief, and what you're going to show them is that you're making their card not only rise up, but rise up through the handkerchief. And the way to do it is, while you're holding the cards underneath, you grab this little bit of the card, of the handkerchief, and you pull. Now there's a knack to it. There's a knack to it. But if you pull, it looks like the card is rising on its own, but really it's rising because of the handkerchief pulling out of the pack of cards, and it's pushing that card up. It's a beautiful look. So let's go through it again. Okay, so we have a handkerchief and a card. Select the card, control it to the top using a false cut. Bring attention to the handkerchief. Oh, could you pass me that handkerchief, please? Very good. We show the handkerchief on both sides. Dip the hand under. It's still holding the card. Show it on both sides. Dip the hand under. put the rest of the pack on top of that hand, give it a quick shuffle, putting the handkerchief in the folds there, put the handkerchief, push them together, and then reverse it and hold it. And then all it requires is for you to pull, 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 and the card rises up. What was your card? Ba-da. I love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment of magic. I hope that those of you who want a bit more difficult magic enjoy that and practice it and perform it because it really does, it fools people. It's a fantastic trick. Okay. Okay, an explanation for the cut and restored rope. The cut and restored rope is a classic of magic. Nearly every magician in the world does the cut and restored rope or has done the cut and restored rope. I do it when I'm doing programs live for teenagers or adults. I do it, it's my opening trick. The reason it's my opening trick is because usually I involve an audience member. Usually it's quite visual, and it also shows that I've got a little bit of skill, and I believe that people want to see that a magician has a little bit of skill. It earns a little bit of kudos, a little respect at the start of the show, and then we can go on to the silly stuff that I do or the other magic that I do, having engaged the audience. All you require for the cut and restored rope is a piece of rope and a pair of scissors. Now, most magicians use rope that they have bought in magic shops, and it's called magician's rope. You don't need to do that. A 3-foot piece of rope is perfect. Longer is a bit much. Shorter is a little too short, because every time you perform this trick, the rope gets shorter. And the reason the rope gets shorter is because before the trick, that's a little short, you actually cut a length of rope off the rope, like that. Then what you do is you tie a tiny knot in the rope, so that you end up with a loop of rope. This is very, very, very important, because this is what we magicians call the gimmick. If you ever hear magicians talking about a gimmick, this is what it is, okay? Then what you do is you loop it on the rope like that, and you hold it in your hand. That means that you can show the rope length for length, sorry, show the rope length for length. It looks like a normal regular rope, okay? And that is the cut and restored rope, all set up for performance, okay? You have your scissors in the back pocket, like so. And so when it comes to performing the trick, you say, oh, one piece of rope, you crack a few jokes like I did earlier in the program about, afraid not, piece of rope like what you can buy from any magic shop, and then you go to the middle of the rope. When you get to the middle of the rope, you allow the real middle of the rope to sink into your hands, and you pull out the gimmick. You pull out the end of the gimmick. So when I expose my hand, when I open my hand right now, I'm actually exposing the gimmick to the audience. The audience think it's the regular piece of rope. They think it's the normal piece of rope, okay? But obviously it's not, it's the gimmick. If I push the gimmick back down and pull out the regular piece of rope, yeah, and cut that, the trick would be terrible. So I bring it down and then I push out the gimmick, like that. And you're holding the gimmick above the piece of rope. Then when you cut, the only thing you're cutting is the gimmick. So you cut the piece of rope like that. Chewing through it today. There we go. Cut the piece of rope like that. Put your scissors down, that's important. Push the gimmick back in, and when it comes time to restore the piece of rope, you keep the gimmick in your hand and you simply restore the rope. While you are restoring the rope and holding up the big movement, it's nothing to simply drop the gimmick behind you, shove it in your pocket, make it disappear, okay? So let's go through it again. You cut, before the trick, you cut a hefty length of rope, you tie a knot in it, like so, and you have created a beautiful cut and restored rope gimmick. There we go, that's it. You thread the end of the rope, which now is a lot shorter, you thread the end of the rope through the gimmick like that, and then you hold the gimmick in your hand. Okay, so we've got a rope, normal rope like what you could buy from any magic shop. What we're going to do is we are going to cut this rope in half. So then we cut the rope like so, chewing through it. I'm not left-handed, so it makes it difficult. Okay, so how many pieces of rope do we have? We have 2 pieces of rope. But all we need to do is say the magic words, abracadabra, blow on it, and we end up with 1 piece of rope. Hold it up big, misdirect the audience, toss that away. The cut and restored rope. There you go. Another great principle of magic is the concept that if a magician tells you how the trick is done, he's not telling you how the trick is done. He's doing something else. And there's loads of tricks that use this strategy, and it's called leading them up the garden path. There's a famous trick where a magician has an egg, a plastic egg hidden in his hand, and there's a hole in it, and he shoves a handkerchief into his hand, and then he goes, oh look, it's an egg. And then he says, I'll show you how it's done. And he shows the hole in the egg. Then he does the trick again, and it looks like the handkerchief is in the hole, but it's not in the hole. He peels the hole off, cracks the egg, and the egg is a real egg. His explanation of the trick was leading you up the garden path. It was a fib, it was a lie, it was a ruse. Magicians use this in my favourite trick ever, the cups and balls, which I've got here with me today. Yeah, oh, I hold it in this hand and I do this, and all the time they're doing something else. It's a very, very common ruse. I use it in this trick here, my pet spot, which is in our virtual kids program this year. Very simple premise. Okay, how many spots do you see? We see 1 spot. On this side we see 4 spots. On this side we've got 3, and on this side we've got 6. Okay, I'll show you again. On this side we've got 1, on this side we've got 4, on this side we've got 3, on this side we've got 6. How's it done? I'll tell you how it's done. On this side we've actually got 5 spots. When I cover it with this hand, it looks like I've got 6. When I cover it with this hand, it looks like I've got 4. Same on this side. When I cover it with this hand, it looks like I've got 1. On this side, it looks like I've got 3. The weird thing is though, and the thing that I don't really understand, is how come this side actually has 6 and this side actually has 3. And that's not all, because this side really has 8. The explanation of the trick was the ruse for me to do the dirty work to actually make the trick work. Well, of course, that one's in my library show this year, so I'm not going to tell you how it's done. All right, back in a minute.
Ah, the magician's top hat. Traditionally filled with magical surprises. Get ready to interact with your screen. Point to any one of the top hats. Now, find the nearest purple hat and point to it. Next, search for the nearest green hat. Make sure it's the closest one and point to that one. Finally, look for the nearest black hat. Point to it and get ready for some magic.
Okay, let's talk coin tricks. Coin tricks are some of the best tricks in the world, for the simple reason being that everybody almost always has a coin on them. This is my coin. It's a regular quarter. I like to do magic tricks with quarters, dimes and nickels. A lot of magicians like to do magic tricks with $half. The reason they like to do tricks with $half is because $half are easier to hold. But the problem is that people don't often see $half, and because they don't often see $half, they think there's something wrong with the coin. So if you're going to do coin tricks, do your coin trick with a regular coin and make life easy on yourself. Okay, so The first coin trick everybody ever learns is disappearing the coin. And the way we do that is we use a false transfer, which is called the French drop. It's always been called the French drop. You can learn about the French drop in nearly any magic book. And what you do is this: you show the coin, okay, and then you take the coin in the other hand, and it disappears, and then you blow your nose, and it comes out your nose. Okay, very, very, very simple trick. Little kids love it. The reason they love it is because it's a little bit, you're blowing your nose. It's not nice. Okay, so how do we do a French drop? Well, it's a false transfer. We are pretending to take the coin, but we don't take the coin. And we are masking the fact that we didn't take the coin with a larger movement, because the larger movement provides misdirection. So the French drop, hold the coin like this. Okay, hold the coin like this. So your hand is facing the audience and the coin is trapped between your thumb and your index finger. When you go to take the coin, for a brief moment, the coin is out of sight. And this hand is covering the action. This hand is covering the action because the only action you're actually performing is this. You're dropping the coin into your cupped hand. Okay? Because your hand is angled, it can't be seen by the audience. So, when you take it, it doesn't go into this hand, it stays in this hand. So from behind, it looks like, and I'm trying to get the angle here, it looks like that. Okay? The coin has just been dropped into this hand. It's called the French drop. I don't know why they call it the French drop. It's a wonderful way to describe it though. Every magician knows it. So you take the coin out of the hand, but you're not taking it really. It's the French drop, it's in this hand still. And then you say, and then you shake this hand. This is important because this is the bigger motion. And the bigger motion provides a misdirection for you to simply turn this hand a little bit more. And you blow or you say the magic words. And don't just open your hand, because that's not magical. Gradually open your hand. Let it melt away. Pretend the coin is melting away. Disappeared. Much more beautiful, much more magical. It's what people expect. I like to follow things that look a bit magical with something that's a little bit disgusting. So I raise my hand holding the coin to my nose. I say, achoo! And it falls out of my nose, apparently. It's really falling out my hand. Achoo! Ugh. You want it? Yeah? No? Okay. There's loads of variations on the French drop. The other one I like to do is this one here, where you just push it into your hand like that, and it disappears and goes up your sleeve. I hope you can see that actually. I hope I'm not out of frame. I'll show you again. Okay, so you push it in there like that, and it comes out your sleeve. Okay, how does that happen? Another false transfer. When you hold the coin like that, you don't actually have this fist closed. So when you push it in, it looks like you're pushing it into the left hand, but actually you're pushing it in, and if you see from back, you're just dropping it into, pushing it in and dropping it into the hand that does the pushing. So you go, okay, cool. Disappears and goes up the sleeve. Wonderful piece of magic. A lot of magicians do whole routines based on various vanishes. A lot of magicians will brag, my one coin routine is very important. So that's the French drop and another little vanish. Okay, so one of my favourite coin routines to do is something that I used to do when I was a street performer. And it involves a cup, a bag and a coin. A cup, a bag and a coin. What we're going to do is we're going to cover the cup with the bag. Then we're going to cover the coin with the cup. So the coin gets covered with the cup is covered with the bag, and the coin is going to disappear. Okay, real simple. So what we do is we cover the cup with the coin, and the coin disappears. We cover the coin with the cup, and the coin disappears. Okay, so ready? Watch. We snap our fingers, and watch very carefully as the coin has disappeared. Oh, that's weird. It didn't disappear. Do you know why? We snapped them too hard, and the cup disappears. I love this trick. And the reason I love this trick is because it provides misdirection. And the way you do it basically is you misdirect the audience. there's the cup on my knee, and there is the bag. Now, when you crunch the bag over the cup, it will actually take on the shape of the cup. That's really important. And then what you do is, you say, I'm going to disappear the coin. Now, as I told you before, when a magician tells you something, he's probably not telling you the truth, because we're never going to make this coin disappear. The whole idea of the trick is to make the cup disappear. So, you cover the coin with the cup with the coin, the coin with the cup. You cover it, and you say, it disappears, and it doesn't disappear. And you say, it disappears, and it doesn't disappear. And when you bring it to the side of the table, you simply drop the cup out of the bag. Okay? So the cup simply drops out of the bag. Okay? And the bag retains the shape of the cup. So you say, wait a second, we didn't make the coin disappear, we went too loud. And that's how you make the the cup disappear. You're misdirecting the audience. It's a great trick. I love it. And I hope you enjoy it. Okay. When I started planning this magic workshop, I wanted to explore misdirection. I wanted to explore different ideas and provide you with lots of tricks that you can use to fool your friends. And this trick is one of those perfect tricks, but I can't perform it for you. And the reason I can't perform it for you is because you need a helper from the audience. The trick is psychological. It depends upon interaction from the audience. So I'm going to explain the trick, and then you can go out and perform the trick. But I obviously can't perform it. Okay? This is my prediction. I've written a prediction right down here. I'm going to put it right there. And it never moves, and I never touch it during the trick. Okay? And then you have a helper. And we explain that we have three objects. We have a cup, we have a ball, and we have a penguin. Just three objects I randomly picked up from my kitchen a couple of minutes ago. Okay? Cup, ball, penguin. And what I want you to do is I want you to, and this is what you say to your audience member, I want you to touch any two objects. I want you to point at any two objects. So they could point at these two objects here. Okay? You say, fine. Okay? We'll get rid of the cup. No problem. That leaves us with two objects. What I want you to do is I want you to touch one of those objects. And so they touch the penguin, you say, fine, and we'll get rid of it for you. That leaves us with the ball. And that's the weird thing, because my prediction says you will choose the ball. You will choose the ball. Now, the reason I can't demonstrate this trick to you as in a performance piece is simply because we never really give them a choice. They are always going to predict the ball. And we are going to eliminate things using a system called Magician's Choice. We have three objects, and therefore we have numerous options. We start the trick by saying touch two objects. Now, if they touch the penguin and the ball, we say great, we eliminate the cup. If they touch the ball and the cup, we say great, we eliminate the penguin. If they touch the penguin and the cup, the trick is over. We eliminate both of those and we only have the ball. Okay? So, if they touch those two, we get rid of that. If they touch those two, we get rid of that. If they touch those two, we get rid of them both and we open up the prediction and everyone goes, my goodness, how did he know it? But let's say you touch the cup and the ball, so we eliminate the penguin. Penguin's gone. Now we've got to another elimination. I want you to touch one of these objects. If they touch the cup, we say, no problem, we'll get rid of the cup. If they touch the ball, we say, great choice, and we get rid of the cup. We're not giving them a choice. Okay? We're manipulating their perception so they think they had a choice. Two totally different things. So, they touch the ball, you say, good choice, and we get rid of the cup. That's all we say. We don't say, oh, we'll get rid of it. Good choice. If they touch the ball, the cup, we say, great, we'll eliminate the cup. Okay? And that way, you are always left with the ball. And that is a little mind-reading strategy called Magician's Choice. Let's go through it again. So, we've got three objects. I want you to touch two objects. touch those two. No problem, we'll get rid of the coin. We have two objects. I want you to touch one object. Oh, good choice. And it's really weird that you should choose the ball, because over here I have a prediction that's been on my table the whole time, and the whole time this prediction has said you will choose the ball. That's a little technique called magician's choice. You can use that with any three objects. All you need is a pen and a piece of paper to write down your prediction. I actually do a very, very, very similar trick when I'm doing stroll around and charging people too much money to do stroll around magic. So it's a great trick. Enjoy. It involves one of these. You know what this is? This is a swizzle stick. And the reason they call it a swizzle stick is because many years ago at the state fair, people would come up and show magic tricks to visitors. And while they were showing the magic trick, if they fell for the magic trick, they would take a piece of chalk and draw a line down their back. And the reason they draw a line down their back is so that all the other con merchants who were at the state fair would know that this person is gullible and easily fooled, and they would be able to target them more effectively. And that's why con merchants know the people they're conning as marks, because they actually had a physical mark. Now, of course, nowadays we've got rid of chalk and we use something else. It's called a dry erased marker. So all you have to do is you have to tell me how many crosses are on the stick. So how many crosses on the stick? One, correct. Okay. Draw a cross there and a cross there. How many crosses on the stick now? Three, correct. Okay. So if I turn it over, and this is where it gets complicated, and I do a cross there and a cross there and a cross there, how many crosses on the stick now added up all together? 6. Yeah, well done. You got 3 on that side, you got 3 on that side. Now this is where it gets difficult, because if I wipe off one of the crosses, how many crosses do I have? 4. Yeah, 4. 2 on this side, 2 on this side. I tell you what, let's start again with 3. Okay, so we got 3 on this side, we got 3 on this side. Now if I wipe off one of the crosses like that, how many crosses on the stick? 4. Yes, 2 on that side, 2 on that side. Now if I wipe off another cross, how many crosses do I have on the stick? 2. That's right, 1 on that side, 1 on that side. Do you remember when we had 2 on one side? That was a lot easier, wasn't it? Oh, so we've got 2 on that side and we've got 2 on that side. Now if I wipe off one of the crosses, how many crosses on the stick? That's right, 1 cross there and 1 cross there. But here's the weird thing, if I take it and I flick it, it goes all the way to the end. And if I grab it and I pull it, it comes all the way back. Now if I wipe off the stick like that, I've got no crosses there and no crosses there. But I did notice that this pen's leaking a little bit. So if I tap it like that, once, twice, I end up with a little cross on the stick. And if I tap it again, I end up with a cross on that side and a cross on that side. But here's the weird thing, if I wipe off the cross on that side, I've got no crosses on that side, no crosses on that side. And that's why it's called a swizzle stick. I love that trick. Really, really, really good trick. And you can find tricks using the same technique in this book here, which is called Mr. Mark Wilson's Complete Course in Magic. Almost every magician on the planet has this book. It's a fantastic book. It teaches you everything from small magic tricks to sleight of hand to big illusions. You can do this trick with the technique from this book using a kitchen knife and using the same methods and the same technique. It's got various ways of performing the cut and restored rope trick, which is in this program, and loads of card tricks. Very, very, very good book, and it's very likely that your library has a copy. Okay, so I found an assistant. This is Bryn, and Bryn is my assistant. He looks very weary and fed up because Bryn is actually also my kid. And what we're going to do is we're going to show you a little magic trick involving this stuff here. This is toilet paper. Bryn, can you hold your fingers like that, please? And we're going to take the toilet paper, put them there like that. So Bryn is now a toilet paper dispenser. Okay, so what we're going to do, Bryn, is this. We're going to take a little bit of toilet paper, a couple of sheets of toilet paper. We're going to scrunch these 2 sheets of toilet paper up to a teeny tiny ball, a really small ball. Can you see that small ball there, Bryn? Yeah, okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that small ball in the hand like that. We're going to say the magic words abracadabra and give it a rub, and the toilet paper disappears. I know, it's an amazing trick. I'll show you again, Bryn. Okay, so what you do is this time we're going to try and do it with twice as much toilet paper. What we're going to do is we're going to scrunch it up like that into the hand, okay? So notice it's in that hand. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to say the magic words abracadabra, and the toilet paper disappears. It's an incredible trick. I know. Watch carefully, Bryn, because this time I'm going to cheat. So what I'll do is I'll rip this toilet paper like this, make it into a ball, okay? So it goes there like that, okay? Say the magic words abracadabra, toilet paper disappears. I'll show you one more time. Bryn, okay? This much toilet paper, we cannot do it with more toilet paper. We take this toilet paper, we scrunch it up in a ball. Scrunch it up in a ball like that. And watch very carefully. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smash it, and the toilet paper is going to disappear. It just goes. It just disappears. It's an amazing trick. But what it illustrates to us is this. It doesn't matter if you're doing a magic trick for 400 people in a theatre or one person holding a toilet paper. So long as that person enjoys the magic trick and you do it in an entertaining way. That was a little bit of close misdirection for Bryn. There are loads of books in your library today where you can learn magic. For example, your local librarian might have a copy of this book here, Mark Wilson's Complete Course in Magic. I hope they do. It's a great book. Go into your library today, go into the magic section of your library, find books, read books, and next year when I come to your library to do a show, come and meet me and we'll swap some tricks. All right, I hope you enjoyed the workshop. Hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.